Yeah. Welcome to West Coast Reactive Podcast, number one independent podcast in the world. I need you to go to westcoastreactive.com, number one independent website in the world. Why, you ask? Because it's me, Big Silencer, DJ Heavenly, Jaron Draws, and the whole family. Tune in, stay active, don't miss out, get some merch, freshen up. Summertime's coming. We need to stay busy. Much love to y'all. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, do all that good stuff, and get at me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, motherfucking yeah. Raz Kaz, Incredible Javier in the building. What up, everybody?
What's up,
Yo,
everybody?
yo,
Hey,
salute.
Raz, just want to say it's a pleasure and it's an honor, G.
Man, thanks for having me. Thank you guys. I'm happy to be here on this wonderful Saturday evening in La La Land studio.
Oh
Yes, sir.
shit,
Yes, sir. Hey,
man.
I like to you know, I know a lot of people when they probably talk to you there and they interview, they're talking about how you worked with some of the best. But I want people to know, like Raz Kaz is one of the best. That's where he belongs. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you. Thank you, bro.
Well, go ahead, Nicolas.
Nah, that's why it's an honor and a pleasure, man. The homegirl Germ Free, she's the one that plugged us in together. You know what I mean? I gotta give her a major shout out as well. You know, she's another
Yes,
upcoming,
sir.
very talented, and she's working over here at West Coast Reactive Studios, and we're trying to get you in the mix. So it's
Yes,
a
sir.
blessing and an honor, man. You want to talk about your studio that you're at right now?
Oh yeah, man. I'm part. It's called the Grid Studios, so it's in Van Nuys. So actually, a mutual friend of ours, Um, me and Germs, homie owns this studio, and I'm coming in as a partner. So it's called the Grid Studios. We got two rooms, and then there's a audio visual room for like editing and all that. So just starting to build it out right now. So just kind of in the infrastructure uh, uh, place right now, but we're doing recording. There's actually a session going on right now.
Dope.
Yeah.
What's it like being in the studio with Raz Kaz?
Uh, Good question. I've always heard nice things. Like I'm about really the work. I really love the art form. So to be perfectly honest, it's all the big smoking a million blunts and bottles and all that shit. That's a whole bunch of Showtime shit.
Yeah.
I don't really go to the studio to throw parties. I go to the studio to be creative with creative people. So we're about to work. By the time I had met some of the great producers that I as a fan I wanted to work with. I already had a really good work ethic, and so I've always heard it was a pleasant experience working with me because I care about the music first, all the party and the and trying to get some bitches over and all that shit. That shit is secondary. I really love the art form. So yeah, for me it's about the making the song the best job we could do. It's the closest. Some people some people fix cars up, and it's crazy to watch that idea go from there to physical. Like, yo, when you explained it, I didn't really see what you were saying, but now that you put these hydraulics and you did this, and the engine is chrome, so everybody has their way of being amazing. Whatever. Some people do. Um, some people plate food amazing. I'm watching. I'm like, God damn, that nigga really made a you know, fucking grilled cheese look amazing. You know what I'm saying? So whatever talent you got where you could be creative and share that with the world, um, mine just happens to be, expressing and being in the studio. So sorry to answer that in a long way, but for me, it's a lot of work, but a lot of good times. We always, I tend to have a great time in the studio with whoever I'm working with. Um, Somebody, I forgot who said it, but basically they said that when you go in the studio, it's not about you, it's about the song. Just
Yes.
go in there and do your part, whatever part. And a great thing that Dr. Dre taught us was like throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it sticks. So don't be afraid to fail. Just what's whack is if you're afraid to throw an idea that might change the record in a good way. So in my sessions, I'm always open to everybody being creative. I may have my own vision about what I want to do, but I'm always open to listen. And fine line between um, uh, uh, having a vision and being completely closed minded. So I try to
Mhm.
be balanced on that. Yeah, but it's good times from what I hear.
Where do you think that work ethic comes from? Because in LA, you're from LA, we're all from LA. There's a lot of distractions, dog. There's a lot of distractions. So where does that work ethic come? Where you like, okay, when it's fun time, but when it's business, this is business.
I think honestly, I have a problem with a lot of our work ethic at home. There's a lot of smoking and chilling, and I don't, and I think our culture. We're weed culture. We got beautiful weather. We got beautiful women. We got beautiful weed. And all that factors into like I have an urgency to what I do. My music ain't laid back. I don't make laid back music. I make like time is of the essence music, to be
Yeah.
honest. And so, but that's kind of how I approach my life. Um, I think it came from the people. First of all, it was the people that gave me a shot. So I would say that Wino, the producer who did it, who believed in me as a kid, he did, he would go on to do, Coolio's album Gangsta's Paradise and all that stuff and make a lot of money. And then Battle Cat, and those two, they're not the only ones, but two very instrumental people in my journey that believed. I was a kid. I was like 14 trying to act like I was 16, and they believed in me and they saw something in me that I didn't recognize, and I didn't have no money. So for them to come, allow me to come over to their studios and start becoming, trying to figure out who I was because they saw something in me. I didn't want to waste their time. I tried to go in there and be ready. And then we talking about the time before digital. So if you
Or that.
couldn't, it's before that, I'm when people had like the 8 tracks. It was just a
Damn.
cassette thing, like a high. Like we didn't have no money to go to big studios with the reel to reels and shit. Back then it would cost like $5,000 to make one song. You had to buy the reel to reels, you had to book the studio time, all that shit. And they wasn't giving you no 1 hour, no, like you probably had to do a lockdown 6 hours at $200 an hour. Like none of this bullshit that motherfuckers doing now. Like they got it super easy.
Yeah.
Um, back then, even a home studio, the equipment was so expensive. So you still talking about a big investment. And yeah, with those people allowing me to go in there, in general, you had to nail it. Like at least one verse. If you thought you was gonna go in there and do one line and another line, you was gonna get kicked out unless you was paying for it. And I was a kid; I didn't have no money. So my work ethic came from necessity.
Oh yeah. That's
So
so.
Yeah.
was Battle Cat already big at the time when he found you?
No.
Oh, so he
Mm-mm.
was
Cat had probably done. He Cat was still a K-Day DJ. He had probably did Banging on Wax because he produced a lot of that. And Domino was about to come out, probably.
okay.
Ghetto
So,
Jam. Yeah.
but before Domino, he had a artist, Box, and Box was signed first before Domino, and Box is from L.A. Like I believe Box is from Crenshaw District, same neighborhood as Dempsey and them. So Box had the deal, and then Cat had produced it all, and then we were like the little underlings. We was just the little homies, and like I wanted to rhyme, but they just believed in us and gave us, kept us in the loop.
Yes, sir. I listen to lyrics a lot, and there was one lyric where I was like, "Wait a minute, was he really there?" But because it was dope, right? You say,
Hmm.
in YA, putting government meat in the spread.
Oh,
You ain't.
facts.
Yeah, were you in what? Did you go to YA?
Hmm.
Oh shit, where were
Yeah.
you at? Because I'm a YA baby too. What institutions were you in?
I did the 90-day op. So what was that? What is it,
SFPC.
Norwalk or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went out to didn't ship me to what you call them? What's the one like in Palmdale?
Oh, that's those are camps. Those are LA camps. That's a Challenger and all that.
Okay. Yeah, I did a 90-day op in YA over at yeah,
Norwalk.
that's when they yeah Norwalk, and then they shipped me off to that, and then they brought me back, and then I went back to court because they didn't recommend that I like after my 90-day op, they recommended me
To go to camp.
out.
Oh, so
Well,
you
they
got
recommend. Well, they recommend. They didn't want well camp instead of YA to do my time. But then they offered me a deal to just plead as an adult because I was still a juvenile,
yeah.
obviously. Um, but yeah, I went. I did the halls. I went through the halls, juvenile hall, and then YA, and then county, and then
The
I
juvie.
never did federal time, but then just prison. So not my first rodeo.
When I heard that, I
Yeah.
tripped out because not a lot of people. When you spit that line, not a lot of people were talking about YA. You know what I mean? So
Uh,
I remember that when YA putting government meat in the spread, I'm like, that's
right.
hard timing it too, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, why it was wild. Just my 90-day op. Shit, bro. I mean, I have some. I have some. What do they call it? I have trauma. YA is motherfuckers young and wild, young and
oh
active.
yeah,
YA. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah. I mean, not specifically to me, but there was definitely trauma. I'm like, you motherfuckers is fucked up in the head because motherfuckers young. Young and motherfuckers is doing juvenile life, and motherfuckers got niggas is acting up.
oh yeah. I did 4 years in YA, and it was crazy because when you first get there, I was young too, and you don't give a fuck because they can't do nothing to
Right.
you. Where are you gonna send me? Like I'm already
Right.
here, dog. There's nowhere else you can send me. That's the attitude everybody had.
And they had when I was there, they still had weights, everything. It was active. Oh my god, it was
Well,
crazy.
well, I'm glad that you didn't have to spend too much time there, and you got to make music, man, because you're making dope ass shit.
Thank you. Yeah, not that I recommend any jail, but I actually I liked well shit like Wayside, like the ranch, like getting out the county. Wait, like YA and the county was just horrible living. But then once you got to like what I realized the dirty little secret was, if you can get to like fucking medium, medium north, like get to a ranch, you'd be all right.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to go to camps and shit because they feed you good, you work out and shit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was little. All the big guys got to go to like fire camp and all that shit. I'm like, fuck. They just gave me regular. I ain't get no. Just go be a regular, another asshole.
my boy James, he wrote right here. I love this line too, right where you left off, right?
hmm
If you ain't black, go figure. Pronounce you dead in the ER, pronounce ER. I love that. I was like, man, that is so fucking. How do you get into the mindset of writing that? Because I've only heard 2 songs like that I thought were dope. Other ones I thought Catch tried too hard. Right? It's right where you left
right.
off and Wordsmith by Chino XL. Those
Yeah.
I thought were like,
Ch-
man,
Chino's so nasty, man. Just salute to Chino XL, man. Um, yeah, that one, I swear, man, it was very much inspired by the beat, and the beat was so sparse. I just danced in it, and I just had so much fun dancing in the spaces in the beat. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it just kind of hits you, man. Like I knew I wanted to do, synonyms, and that beat just kind of like it told me to it told me what to like how to bounce. And so
yeah,
yeah, I was kind of doing more melody and knowing I wanted to like I didn't want to like I didn't want to make it so easy where you knew where each synonym was and make it the punchline.
yeah,
So I definitely wanted to make it a little more think about it, like I was trying to throw 3 or 4 in a row and then match those up, but still keep the listening easy so it was still bouncing.
yeah.
I didn't want the flow to be complicated. I wanted the flow to be easy because the concept is simple, but the concept could get really distracting. If you know what I'm saying, like I like sitting, you know what I'm saying. I write, well, I like, and then you know what I'm saying. Type. I was just like,
Yeah.
fuck. Like, how do I make it easy on the ear? And that beat was just the perfect for me. It was a perfect palette for me to do what I was trying to do.
Another line that I love from that song is what do you say? lipstick lesbian, bye. She wants to smoke if I buy.
Bye.
I'm like,
I,
dude,
Trick. Beat a bitch. I'm like, bye.
that's just gangster, man.
Oh man, when I spell man, I school bitches like spell man. Hypnotic. I'm under her
You know,
spell,
style, man.
man.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
man,
Yeah, man. I thank you, bro. It's one of my personal. I don't listen to me a lot, but every once in a while, I'm like, yo, I want to hear that song. It's kind of cool, like that song. I'm always, it's one of my personal favorites, I guess.
And that was one of the first songs that I had heard from you. I got out of YA and I was working at Bank of America, and I showed some cat a Mortal Technique. He's like, oh, if you like that, you'll like this cat right here. He's from LA. And I heard that
Mm.
song. I was like, this motherfucker is nasty. Like this fool
Oh
is sick
shit!
with it, right? And after that, I kind of been following your career since 2005. Before that, I was
Thank
in
you,
YA.
bro.
So yeah, I wasn't really, me
Right.
looking looking for trouble.
Yeah.
But after,
Different soundtrack.
yeah. But it was a trip to find out that you even before then, right? So that's when I discovered your music. But even before then, you
Hmm.
actually had a lot cracking. You had a long ass career, right? Interview with the
Yeah.
vampire. You had a
Hmm.
shit. What was the other? Damn, I forgot the name of the track. Or you're talking about nature, the nature of the
Nature of the
threat.
threat.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and
Yeah.
then you have
man.
those which really took off in the underground, right? Uh,
Hmm.
and then that kind of elevated you to the level where you did those elevate you to the level where you started working with Dr. Dre and Mac 10?
Yeah. Well. So Nature of the Threat is on my first album, which was Solo Nights, and that came out in like '96. So that record kind of made me. I didn't sell a lot of records, but it did. As far as other MCs, it made me highly respected. The
Yeah,
Nature of the Threat, like so, from west to east, I was shown a lot of love lyrically. I wasn't super the most popular, but I think other MCs really appreciated what I brought to the table. I don't necessarily make the best dance records. Not that I'm not capable of it. It just wasn't what I was on at the
yeah,
time. So, um, you know, uh, yeah, those helped me. It really helped with my career because it cemented me as a. There was always the argument that the West Coast wasn't lyrical. I mean, I would beg to differ. I
yeah,
always felt like, the Ice Cubes and the MC Rans and corrupts, whatever, like just spitting, that motherfuckers was dope. Um, but I guess at that time during the kind of with Pac Biggie and that whole era, Death Row and Bad Boy era, that was a big argument that the West Coast didn't have lyricists, and I guess maybe I was able to help in that argument, especially I was doing high concept records, kind of the things that like things that Kendrick, those
yeah,
types of high concept, a little more social. Socially conscious as just straight gangster shit.
yeah,
So I think that was the difference is that I came out at a time where obviously, I'm from the West. I love gangster shit. It just wasn't what my story was. So I tried to stick to my story
yeah,
and to my passions. So I always, that I always kind of said street shit but with a conscience. You know what I
definitely.
mean? Like I talk about the business and the shit out here, but then kind of say, hey man, maybe we shouldn't do this, or you ever thought about these fucking police, or whatever, or. So yeah, no, those things open the door for the Dr. Dre's to say who's this dude, and the DJ premieres and really open the RZA, a lot of producers, that first album, it opened that door for them to really respect what I did lyrically, and that helped when I met them. That where they would say like, "Y'all want to work with you, man? Let's see what we could come up with." So it's been a
Yeah,
blessing.
that's
Yeah.
that's dope.
And like you said, like Kendrick. You mean Kendrick is like you? You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
I mean, well, of course, everybody's inspired by,
you,
I,
you
I'm
first.
sure. We of course. I mean, we all everybody's inspired by at least three or four other people before
Yeah,
them, and even people get inspired afterwards. And you look check somebody out and say like, "Yo, I like what dude's doing. He's dope." Whatever. So yeah, yeah, of course. On some Hubble shit. Yes. I, I'm sure that I did stuff that you could see Kendrick. Um, Yeah, I'm sure he's heard some records.
inspired by it. Yeah,
I'm acquainted with the brother. I'm sure Absol. We're from the same city, so Absol did "Threatening Nature," which is Nature the Threat reversed.
yeah,
So I know the best know the best. You gotta pay attention. I mean, how would you know? How would Kobe have become Kobe if he didn't study the Jordans and everybody else? You gotta study the best to be the best.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Hmm.
So, you know, you're talking about those high concepts and keeping it gangster, right? There was a song that I tripped out on where I was like, damn, like that's when I knew I got to check out your whole catalog, right? And
Hmm.
you're talking about you're describing this really sick, torturous place. You say dick to ass and all kinds of shit, right? And then you're like,
Hmm.
this is LA County Jail. It's not Abu Ghraib.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah,
Like you made it seem
yeah,
like, and it was crazy the way you broke it down, because like you
right,
said, you brought gangster elements to it, but you're making it seem like this torturous, crazy place, and then it's
right.
like, no, this ain't happening overseas. This
This
is
is right home down
yeah,
the street, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always, I am that person. Like I went to school in Watts. I grew up in Watts, but I lived in Carson, so shit, East Side, Watts up to anybody from Watts out there. I went to school in Watts. I went to Catholic school in Watts, which is even more of a interesting concept. So I've always been two different people. It's the smart kid that read books, and it's the stupid kid that wanted to run around with his friends, in Watts on 99th Street. So I've always been conflicted, and that's what I kind of try to write about. Just trying to be myself. I don't over like I always tell my friends or other artists. I don't know if people ever noticed, but I've never said I sold dope because I didn't. My cousins did, the homies did. I'll say the homie or whatever, but I've never said because I just didn't.
yeah,
Not not for any other reason, but that it was this fucking. My mom traumatized me because her brother died from a drug overdose, and she made me promise not to use drugs. And then I was like fucking 9. She's crying and shit. Don't ever. And she made me promise. This promise is the only promise I really ever kept. She was like, don't. And she was like, don't use drugs. And I was like, okay, I don't like drugs anyway. And then she was like, and don't sell them either. I was like, fuck. Because my friend Kenny was already selling dope, and he had all the fresh kicks. And I was like, yeah, but I want to sell them. I definitely want to sell something. And then later in life, I told her fairly recently, my own mother, I was like, yo, that was the dumbest thing you ever told me. You know how rich I could have got just selling weed to Exhibit and Snoop Dogg? Are you kidding me? The fuck were you thinking about? Now the shit legal. You fucked my hustle up. Like, but yeah, but that just, I always, it's art. So
yeah,
sometimes we say things, I say all kind of crazy shit. I walked on the moon and then I slapped Yoda, whatever. It's MC shit. You talk your shit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, it's just, for me, it's just certain things I didn't want to say just because
yeah,
it's a little more practical. Like, if I really like, because I said it in a rhyme. I was like, man, e- everybody, and everybody, I just wrote it. Something to the effect of, and everybody killing the ops, but chilling with cops. But chilling with cops.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, all of a sudden, everybody know Pablo, but no Hablo until they testify for the proso. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, so I just didn't want to be that guy. Like everybody, growing up in the hood is so hard and getting in a homie like me. And I'm like, bro, like I don't want to sound like the same, like broken record. And and especially, everybody's the drug cartel fucking
yeah,
don. And like, bro,
yeah,
what if you're selling this much cocaine? Why are you rapping, bro? like buy the island and fucking never. Why would you be telling the feds all this coke that you selling? So I was like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be that guy.
And I'm glad too because you put out some dope shit. And then you know what's a trip is you mentioned earlier how a lot of people didn't think that LA was lyrical, but there were a group of people from LA,
Yes, yes.
especially the Wake Up Show. I know they put a gang of people on there, and you would hear like straight fucking spitters on there, like,
Hmm.
and it was kind of crazy because even at that time, it was the kind of the explosion of I say the birth maybe of Chicano rap, but you even had certain Chicanos rapping
Yeah,
like the Mexicans and Psycho
that's my
Round.
homies.
Yeah, the
Those.
Mexicans Psycho Round were spitters.
Well,
And I'm just
first of all, the Mexicans were around before they came out before me.
oh shit.
So and which is crazy because I was just with Sin and them recently. We went to Mexico. We went to uh, oh man, fuck. Uh, 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 I'm an asshole. I gotta remember it. Hold on. We went to Monterrey. So we went to Monterrey together. Like Sin and them brought me out. Sinful and them, the Mexicans. Those are my brothers, man. Salute to them. Salute to
Right.
Psycho
Oh,
Realm. I just saw Jack too. But they were telling me some crazy shit that I didn't even know because I knew them back then when they were already about to come out, and I was about to go into juvie. So
mhm.
we've known
Oh
each
shit.
other for that long, and so it was just funny talking. Um, and just yeah, like the, a lot, it's a lot of fucking heroes that don't get their credit. So the Mexicans are definitely heroes. Not, and I don't. I mean, I get it on some, some Mexican shit, but just on some West Coast hip hop shit, they was barring up with dope beats
Right.
early on. They
Yeah.
definitely were. Yeah, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm
Like,
saying. Like I think at that time there were certain things that were kind of commercial, but then there was that
mm,
underground raw spitter kind of shit. And I think that's where they came in. You came in.
yeah,
A lot of other people, even early Exhibit,
yeah,
was with all that. And I was that's I go back and listen to all that. I was like, man, this was a dope ass time period because you guys were
oh, it
like
was.
all elevating each other, and it just seemed like there was
But they're
dope.
before the Mexicans are before us. They already had a shot before us. It was crazy. If you do the time, like we came out like 95, 96 ish. They sending them like 93, 92 ish three, bro.
Oh
They was
shit.
already putting it down. They was already putting it down, man. Like I got to get the homies they props where they deserve them. So yeah, man. And like with dope production, bars, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I love them brothers, man. Like around the same time, Cypress too. 'Cause, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Around that time period, like the '92 babies, that's Pac and Biggie type shit. Like all of them came in that. That was a hard era. That was like a
yeah,
legend era, like that '92, '93. So, all those dudes get, especially for the West. Um, People really doing hip hop shit was like the Mexicans, Freestyle Fellowship, that had a deal that were able to be heard.
mhm.
Cypress, it kind of clicked where it became like you're either hip hop or you're gangster, which
Yeah,
was an unfair decision to make because most of us grew up somewhere, so we're a bit of both, and it just depended on how you wanted to communicate your journey. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I always thought that was an unfair choice to make. I don't have to just be hip hop. I can't be just pure hip hop. Like I didn't grow up that way. I grew up in the streets of LA. So, I always had a lot of respect for everybody's interpretation and do it how they did it and looking up. I always still tell people, if you actually pay attention to NWA, Above the Law, um, um, DOC, fucking
mhm.
Um, they always had a posse cut at the end of their album. Well, they
Oh
just
yeah.
rhymed. It wasn't no hook. So
The
they was on
last
some
song,
MC shit.
extra,
Right.
yeah, all that, yeah,
The grand finale, all that
yeah,
shit. So everybody was doing their interpretation, how they did it, and they were putting it down, and they inspired me. I'm inspired by all those big bros, man. The motherfuckers put it down. Legendary songs, man. Quick always had cuts in his records. Scratching, Born and
yeah,
Raised in Compton. Like
yeah. That shit dope too. Dope
Right.
ass.
Everybody was hip hop, a West Coast interpretation, how they had to do it. And that's how it's supposed to be.
And I love that point you made because it's true. Now I think about it, looking back at it, yeah, it's like they always want to put somebody in a category. You're gangster, you're hip hop, but now you're right. Most cats that are creative that came out of it, they came out of some place that was less than ideal for them to grow up in, right?
You're right.
So, so it's like, why do they have to abandon that just to be hip hop?
Right. 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 Yeah, man. And I think they did great jobs. All those dudes are fucking legends. Fucking, I wasn't Mexican. I was playing Kid Frost. That shit was hard. That beat was incredible.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the only point.
yeah, that shit was fire.
Yeah, and one thing that I always tripped out in, I never knew the conclusion to it. You don't have to speak on it if you don't want to, but the beef you had with Capitol Records, was that ever squashed? One of us had to say I'm sorry because we'll never be friends again, right? Like
Ah, you like that song?
was that ever squashed?
Ah, I mean, it's been a war of attrition. We ended up we had forced mediation, and yeah, it's the past. I mean, do you ever really get over a corporation trying to fuck with your life for 10, 12 years, like literally try to kill you? I don't think I'll ever be like over it, but it's the past. You know what I mean? Like I can't live in the past, but you know, think about it. If you get shot, you still got a bullet scar. You know what I mean? They can dig the bullet out. You can get better and heal up, but you look at that shit sometimes and you relive that motherfucker because you see the scar sometimes. So it's scar tissue. That's a great way to answer it. It's
Scar tissue.
scar tissue.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So were they tripping because you got locked up, or what was the initial thing? Like, because I know that they were priority, right? And then went to
Hmm.
Capitol, and then that's when it
Yeah.
happened. Like, what was the whole beef?
Oh man, I don't overly want to because it will take so long to explain it, and I don't want
Yeah.
to waste this interview talking about it. The long story short of it is that the company, um, we had a plan to market the album. We had a great album. We had
Golden Child.
yeah, the Golden Child. No, this was this was the Golden Child album. Yeah. So we had Premier record, we had Kanye record, we had Mike City who had did Sunshine Anderson, heard it all before. We had um, uh, uh, Scott Storch. Uh, we just had a hit record album, High Tech. We had amazing record. This album was amazing for its time. And we had a plan about how we were going to market it. They had failed the last time with the Dr. Dre stuff, and so they had said they would do things correctly, and which is kind of why I stayed there. And long story short, my A&R buckled under pressure. I had a Dr. Dre record, and that Dre had given me, and Busta Rhymes did the hook, and they didn't know it. And at the time, I was actually on the Eminem tour, and so Dre had laced me and gave me this another record again. I was like, well, they fucked up last time, so I don't want them to even know that we have this record because they're gonna groupie on Dr. Dre and Dre. Think about it. I'm the guy right before Eminem. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the guy, basically the guy right after fucking Snoop that he's invested in. He didn't even sign me. He just believes in me, and my rich company keeps fucking it up. And so my whole thing was like, I'm not gonna let them fuck it up again. We got a great album, and if they do everything right, then right last minute I'm gonna let them know we got this Dre Busta Rhymes record, and then that'll be the second or no, the third or fourth video because we already had a marketing plan and strategy about how we were gonna do things. My A&R let them know that we had a Dre record, and basically they tried to they reneged. Reneged just means that they changed their word, went behind my back, and tried to make that the single, and they tried to go to Dr. Dre while I was on tour and say this is the single. It Busta Rhymes, and then Dre said, well, you have to go talk to Razzcast because you did that last time, and then you fucked Razzcast album up. So he said, why don't you go to Razzcast? If you get Razzcast, I'm gonna do what Razzcast says. That's what Dre said,
Mhm.
and they hadn't paid for it. So Dre was giving, he was doing me an amazing favor, and Dre charged $250 to $500,000 per beat. Busta
Damn.
Rhymes charged 80, $90,000 for a verse. So
Uh,
the fact that my big brothers are looking out and believing me, and he had done that before and they fucked up. So this time I said, no, we're going to stick to the plan that Dre's heard the album. We have a plan. You guys made the marketing strategy. Do it. We're gonna shoot the Golden Child video, the premiere thing. Da 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 da. We're gonna stick to this plan. And then they got mad and said, "Well, if you don't get," and they hadn't paid for the record. Dre was giving it to me, and so they couldn't force anything and just put the record out because he would have sued them. And so then they got mad at me, and then they said, "Well, fuck you, and we ain't putting your album out."
Oh,
So it's
that's
real like real spoiled white man shit. That's really what it was, and then he fucked with my life because I had this great thing that they fucked up the last time, and because I wouldn't let them fuck up again, they decided to say fuck me completely. So yeah, it's not like I said. I didn't want to talk about it too much because
yeah.
it's scar tissue.
Yeah, well, no, I appreciate you speaking on that because it does bring me to another point that I kind of want to
Hmm.
bring up, and that's the fact that something you said on sushi, right? I
Hmm.
forgot the exact lyrics, but basically saying that Pro Tools and like the internet has made it easier for everyone to jump on, but kind of watered it down, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, it does cut out the labels, like because they were kind of not unnecessary at the time, but now you don't really need them. What do you think about that? The fact that labels are less relevant now, but that now anyone could jump on this motherfucker.
Well, it's a double-sided sword, right? Technology. So same thing with a gun, same thing with a car. I could take the gun and go get us some food, or I could take the gun and shoot you because I want your house. Technology is what you make of it, and I don't say Pro Tools is great. We're in a studio that if it wasn't for the advances in technology, we'd have to spend quadruple the money every day just to get the same things done. Um, with that being said, it's it's almost to the point where people don't appreciate the hard work that goes into making really like good music. And that it cheapened the value of music because everybody uh, can be successful. In a sense, that's really crazy. Like you can't go be a baseball player. You're not gonna make it on the Dodgers, bro.
That's
Right.
true.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because there's a skill set requirement.
It's a physical requirement. Damn it.
And it's just
No, no, I get what you're saying, Razkaz. Like,
good at this shit no more. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah,
He froze up a little bit.
Yo, can you hear me?
yeah. We could hear. Could you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hey,
there we go. Could you
I
hear us?
can't hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
yeah,
could hear you.
All right, I may have to call and do it again because somebody called and it might have fucked up
Okay,
the audio.
okay,
Um,
just
that
drop it.
sucked. Can I?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't hear you.
okay,
Let me call back and then we'll just start with that question. Is that cool?
yeah.
All right.
No, he has a great point. While we wait for him to jump back on, it's true. Like you can't, in order for you to make it to major leagues of anything, you got to put in that hard work. You got to have that work ethic. You can't just get lucky and end up in the NBA or Major League Baseball. You have to fucking really work at it.
There you go.
Yeah, Raz Cash.
Yeah. Can I? I did want to. What was the question again?
Just about how technology kind of
Oh, so
yeah,
so I wanted to say this. Comedian. If you're not funny, you get yanked off the stage. I can talk all the shit I want about Floyd Mayweather, but when we get in that ring, he's gonna show when I'm huffing and puffing because I smoke a billion cigarettes, and this nigga then jabbed the nigga out 17 times to my one swing and a miss. This the only this the only job where you can be whack at it and still get a job because it's not about the music no more. It's become about like who did something stupid on Instagram and now they can make a song and,
yeah,
and repeat. I'm in a business that people tell you you're too good at. That's
yeah,
that's the complaint. So understand that like nobody told LeBron or Jordan like you play too good, but a nigga will say you too lyrical. Like how the fuck it's called rap? It's
yeah,
not called dance. It's not called crip walk. It's not called how many dances a bitch could do a challenge off of. It's called rap. How can I rap too good? How can I be too rappy, too lyrical?
yeah,
So nobody tells Chappelle he's too funny, or you know what I'm saying, or fucking David Beckham, he fucking plays soccer too good, or you know what I'm saying, or it's just weird. It's corny as fuck, and
Yeah,
the internet allowed inferior people to be able to have a voice in something that should be a little more respected. If you want to dance and be a moron, that shit it shouldn't, or mumble or over sing an auto tune, it shouldn't be considered what we do. They shouldn't be put in the same box. If you don't write your raps, it shouldn't be put in the same box. I'm a. This is a skill set. I always make this joke, and I say if I went to a game and I'm a big fan of LeBron, and a little Mexican nigga jumped out of his sock named Pablo and started dribbling and dunking, then I want the Air Pablos. I
yeah,
do. I don't want the LeBrons if he ain't the nigga. I want the nigga. I want to fuck with the nigga. So if you don't write your raps, I don't care. You a sock puppet. So I don't care about no nigga that don't write no raps. Not in this skill set. Why are you in my job? Because you not. If you not good at my job, why are you? Why do they allow people? And they only do that honestly, nigga. Fucking guitar player. If you ain't thrashing nigga and getting a nigga playing, you ain't Carlos Santana, and then you ain't shit.
Right.
Niggas gonna tell you get the fuck off the stage. Let's keep it a buck. So why can you be a whack nigga and get on the mic? I'm not with that.
yeah. No, I understand completely because it's true. You don't accidentally end up in the major leagues anywhere else. Like you don't get
Exactly.
lucky. You don't get lucky and do it. It's hard work. It's work
Hard
ethic.
work. Yes.
That's where a lot
Hey,
of shit gets confused in this rap shit. A lot of people don't want to take it professional. You got these people that just half-ass it. Just want to be in it for the thrill or whatever. Just that one moment of fame. They get a little popularity online. Now they're making a rap record. Little shit like that. But when somebody like you, like you're saying, longevity in the game, that's been living his life on tours, like running through airports, all this shit. That's your life. There's somebody walking into
yeah.
your life. It's like, what the hell, like.
Yeah, it's a little insulting. It's like people's ears got trained to think whack is good, and it's out of my control. But it's definitely we sell filet mignon, and everybody else is like, oh fuck that, I just want to go to McDonald's. That's up to you. That's fine. If you want to eat the burger that never dies, like you can leave it out and it'll look the same in 3 years. That's on you. But this,
Yeah.
don't call them the same. We don't have the same kind of food. It's not,
Yeah,
and that's all. I'm not. I'm not mad at nobody for getting their money. More power to anybody, but it ain't what I do. It's not
yeah.
what KRS One does. It's not what Nas does. It's not what Sick Jackin does. We are, motherfucker Jack show me a rhyme where the first fucking letter of each sentence is like spelt some shit.
Oh
Niggas
shit.
ain't thinking like that. And niggas are like genius MCs. We're talking about that type of shit. They ain't like us. You know what I'm saying? So don't put them in our conversation. And what the world should be doing is cherishing us a little bit more and showing that support to the psycho realm, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, but one of my big things was always like a lot of black people, even in LA, aren't as aware and up on psycho realm. And I'm always telling people like talking about dope production bars, like Jack, shouts out to Big Duke, like you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is
Yeah.
getting it. Hip hop is
Sick Jack,
alive and well.
I think he's heavily underrated. Also, I think
Oh
you're
yeah.
heavily underrated, and I also think he is because
Hmm.
even when they talk about, and this is what kind of confuses me with a lot of things. Uh, I'm from the with Chicano background, right? So often talk about who are the best Chicano rappers, and a lot of people will leave him out for what you said earlier. He's hip
Right.
hop. He's not Chicano rap. Like he's Chicano when he raps. Like,
Right.
like dog, add
Right.
him to the goddamn discussion, right? But it's like,
Facts.
yeah, but
And he
it's
says street shit. He says real shit. I mean,
but like yeah, I think it's like what you said. It's just a little too lyrical for some people. That's unfortunate. But there was a question I had because I was looking for this track that I swore maybe I'm wrong, but I swore it was made where you were rapping over a Sick Jack and beat. I didn't even know he produced until I
mhm.
heard that, and it was like that "Baby Don't Leave Me" from the Founders, and I was like,
uh,
"Oh shit, did that really happen?" Or I
there's
didn't.
there's a couple. I mean, me and Jack got a couple of records. So, um, I'm shit. We got one called "Come On." Shit, I don't know. I don't. I'm sure I'm forgetting one. If you heard it, it exists. Yeah,
Okay,
because
yeah,
we got at least 4 or 5 joints together. Like, period.
yeah, but I was tripping on
Yeah.
that one because it said produced by Sick Jack, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know he
Hmm.
produced.
You got dope beats. Definitely.
The
Jack
homie
got dope beats.
the homie Dilda Respect asked, how did the song come about with DJ Premier Golden Child, and how was it working with DJ Premier?
Ah man, Premiere is the work. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, we have a running joke. So one of his, we have a group called JMO Gang, and there's three of us in the JMO Gang, and Premier always like I'll be like, I'm number two, and he's like, Nah, you're number three. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, No, I'm number. He'd be like, so I'd be like, Raj, you're number one, because whatever. So I'm just busting his balls, but nah, man. So Premier knew me. I obviously knew who Premier was. I was a fan, and when Coolio signed, once I got out of, I took the deal, did the county, and then I got out, and Coolio was already popping. So they used to let me go with them, like to New York and all kind of shit. They literally just pulled me in. I was very blessed. So I had known Premier when I just had a demo, and then I got my own deal and da 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 da. And I wanted him to, I've been wanting a Premier record. As a lyricist, you want to be able to rock on a Premier record. And he was just super booked, man. Like hard working dude with a high demand on him, and finally, because I was hoping on the Brass Assassination on the second album, and he just I couldn't fit me in. And then finally, Golden Child, and he was like, "Yo, you ready?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Shit. Common got one, Jay Z, Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a lyricist. I gotta. If you not to me, my whole logic was you're not a lyricist if you don't get one premiere record. If you don't body one premiere record, you ain't really a lyricist. So that was my bucket list shit, man, and it was awesome, man. I went out there and we really cooked up from scratch. Um, it's a lot more interesting story. But I'll just say the day I recorded Golden Child, according to Premiere at the time, there was only two MCs that did a perfect one take verse, um, and that was Nas
Mm.
and Biggie, and I'm the first West Coast, third only of three at the time to do a perfect one verse perfect. So my first verse of Golden Child, check the mic, and bodied the first verse. He's like, yeah, I think that's perfect. So that's all one take on a Premiere record. So I've done that once with Premiere, which is that was a bucket list. I went in there and repped the West well and did some shit that only, as of the time, only three MCs had ever done. Period.
Oh yeah, that's fucking
Yeah,
dope too. Cause yeah, like you had to represent for the West, and that's what's up, man. Cause like you said, a lot of cats were sleeping out here. They were sleeping on
yep,
us out here. Well,
yep.
I want to talk about one of the greatest what if questions, right?
Hmm.
And it's something that I don't want to get into the beef or anything, but when there's beef started happening, I was like, no, because I really wanted to hear this record, Slaughterhouse and the Four Horsemen. What would that
Uh,
record have been like?
I had the idea. It was never a beef. It was just certain people were in bad places and doing the wrong thing. So it was never a beef. I knew all those brothers separately. The
Yeah,
Slaughterhouse brothers. I've known Royce since Eminem got signed to Dre. I've known Crooked Eye since probably my after my first album, maybe like
that's another slept on MC right there.
yeah. So yeah, no, I known Joel 5 years before when Dre signed him to Aftermath. He
Oh
was
yeah,
actually at Aftermath.
yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, so no, just brothers I respect, and I my concept for the record was brilliant. What I was gonna pose was Premier and Dre come together
Oh shit.
and put a record. The record I wanted, the concept was gonna be called the Octagon. There's four of them, for us, eight. The Octagon UFC shit. We call it the Octagon, and that
Yeah,
shit could have been crazy. Just
it would have, yeah, because this is the Four
so
Horsemen.
you pair, yeah, you pair two up, whoever that is. Maybe it's me and Royce, and then there's Canvas, and whatever, and one go, the other one go, like two for two, short hook, 2-2, short hook, 2-2, short hook, 2-2. So 2-4-6-8. Could have been sick, man. That was the idea. And we almost had it happen. It almost happened.
Damn.
And unfortunately, one of our brothers was in a bad space and just created the problems. And it just at that point, It's when I quit the Horsemen back then,
Yeah.
just because my brother wasn't in a good spot and he was creating problems for no good reason. But that record could have been amazing. But I never had any beef with any of with them.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean to be
Yeah,
between you guys. I meant like between those two individuals, and
right.
because
Yeah.
yeah, because I was looking forward to it when I read about it. I forgot where I read it at. I was like, no fucking way, that's gonna be like out of this world. And then I
It
heard that,
it would have been great for hip hop.
yeah, man. Well, hopefully one day. Well, I don't know. It seems unlikely now.
I mean, it's even less likely now.
Yeah,
Buttons is making his bag. He don't want to rhyme. It's some things, man. You gotta seize the day, and I think about that. Like, it's some MCs that treated me like a little brother and showed me so much love. Two specifically, I always say Big L and Big Pun. And
mm,
she just really. And back then I was a LA. Not that I'm not a LA dude, but I was a young dude. All the fame and hype shit was weird to me, and I'm a watch baby, and I was just kind of looking around like I don't trust these niggas. So I was always kind of weary of everything, but they genuinely showed me love and uh and gave those offers like, bro, we should do something. But I was too shy and too like it was so surreal. I never reached out to them brothers, and now it's too late. And
damn.
so what I do try to do is put out a what is it called a olive branch out to people and say, hey man, if I fuck with you, let's do one for the universe, man. Let's knock it out because never know if I'm gonna go or you gonna go. But yeah, man.
Yeah,
I, I I wish we would have been able to do that because that would have been great in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That Horseman record that would have been great. And I don't think it'll ever. It's just it's that team has their own issues now. So
yeah,
that's going to take another, 5 to 7, 7 years to resolve, just because. I'm not that I wish that, but it's just things have to work themselves out. And yeah, I wish we would have done it for hip hop.
yeah, man. That's it looked good at the time, and it would have been dope. But hey, things happen, right? And it's a trip that you said how you put that olive branch out there because you have been on some amazing tracks with just about everybody, and I'm like, damn, man, that's fucking crazy. Like you put Google Razcast or featuring Razcast or Razcast featuring, you'll see you up there with Wu Tang, see you up there with
Yeah.
Nas. You'll see you up
Hmm.
there with fucking like Sick Jack and like you said earlier. There's a
Hmm.
group like just all kinds of strong arm steady, all kinds
Hmm.
of people on there, and it's like damn. So, and you said, and that's because of the Big Al and Big Pun situation because you said you got to have at least one track out there.
Well, partially, some of those people I just know. We developed a rapport, and if you fuck with somebody, if they ask of you, then I'm gonna do it if that's the homie. You know what I'm saying? So me and Jack developed a rapport. So they asked me to do something. I'm like, come on, man, would love to, man. I'm a fan of your work, and I've known you as a person. Now I'm a fan of you as a human. So of course, man, it's nothing. And the same thing, we then it's like, I need you on the sun too. Hop on this shit. So
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it just becomes natural. So it's beautiful. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of it is that I was a lot more. I wasn't standoffish. I just was reserved, and
yeah,
people might have took it as me being arrogant or conceited or standoffish. But I just, I it was just weird to me,
yeah,
like the whole attention for rapping. I was just like, I don't know, I don't get it. But the homie say I'm good. Okay, well, fuck it. Like I like the battle. Fuck it, I'll talk some shit. But now, I savor it and I cherish the journey because you know we all guarantee one thing. White people keep trying to change it, but it ain't gonna change it. And guaranteed your ass gonna die.
Right.
As my grandmother says, two things is gonna happen. Like, you gotta stay black and die. Period. So, even Sammy Sosa, he could get contacts and change his skin color. You still a nigga, bro. Your genetics is a nigga. So you can put the Jerry curl juice in your head. You could lighten your skin. And put on them contacts, but nigga, your nose big as a motherfucker, and your genetics is a nigga in there. So you gotta stay whoever you are and die in end of the day. And I'm just trying to cherish the journey and because one day I'm gonna be gone. So hopefully the people that got love for me can say, "Yo, I remember that time with Razzie. We got that song that we did, man." You know what I'm saying? That like that memory, it becomes an audio memory. So that shit is our my heroes are for the most part they're past 50 now. Most of my heroes, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So they're on the other side of like, oh shit, you got less time than more that now. You know what I mean? So I just if I get an opportunity to document anything or exchange some energy with some of my heroes and people that I look up to, then I enjoy doing that.
You
Dope,
have a
dope.
lot of stuff documented in your life, like throughout, like from the past early days.
I lost all that shit, bro. Losing houses, going to jail.
Yeah.
I have priceless shit that's gone. Just I wish I had it. It's priceless. Let alone platinum plaques and shit like that. But just literally just tapes of just me chilling, talking to Big Pun or something like that.
Damn.
I lost all that shit is gone.
I mean, the plaques, we could always get those back for you and shit, but the fucking
Yeah, not a
memories.
footage that shit. Um, dude, I filmed. I remember I walked in the hotel in New York and filmed. Uh, it was everybody. Snoop, dog getting his hair braided. Uh, Heath Sider's playing dominoes. Fucking Eminem drinking something. You know what I'm saying? Dre hitting a blunt. I guarantee you this. There's no picture of Dr. Dre ever smoking weed. You never. There's not one.
Even in his weed videos, I never seen it. You're right.
He never smoked. Never. So I remember caught him with the blunt, everything. Talk like what I'm saying. It was crazy. It's like us all in our element and just documenting all of it. Just in a hotel room, niggas playing dominoes. It's just a good time, big smoke, big drink. And I lost that camera that day. Went to the bathroom. I had to run out for something. I went back. It was gone. Like they got me
Damn.
really fast. But yeah, that shit is priceless. Like just catching Dr. Dre and and Snoop and everybody in this fucking room. Nate Dogg was still alive. Everybody chilling, smoking, drinking, and no, just before the show. So it's just everybody at the room just waiting and just doing regular LA shit. Niggas drinking, smoking, playing dominoes, bagging on each other, talking shit and to be a fly on that wall, just to be a homie was just dope to document it, because they didn't feel like it was some outsider, just me with my stupid camera. That shit was magic, bro. It's priceless. Wish I had it. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Those fucking NFTs right there and shit.
bro, rich as a motherfucker right now.
You
Um,
mentioned too that LA that kind of LA attitude you had to kind of get over that, right? Because in LA, it's a big ass county, right? You motherfuckers are
Hmm.
weary of you. You're from another city, even if you're
Right,
another block, right? So
right.
how did you kind of like take that away? Because I know you said at first it was hard and embraced your greatness. How did you go through that process of saying, you know what, I'm not on the block, or I'm not in Carson anymore, I'm not in Watts anymore, like I'm global now.
I'm probably something just to that effect. I'm really just realizing that it's okay for people to accept that people actually appreciate me. I don't have to feel weirded out. I mean, and LA is a hard place because motherfucker be like, not like I'm on your dick or nothing. Like, and now I have to be the guy to tell people like, nah, man, it's cool, man. Like the fact I'm really grateful that you even like what I do, man. So you don't have to feel like you making yourself less of a man
Yeah.
by telling somebody that what they do is good. We do better if we start supporting each other. So it took me having some growth to be able to even accept it. But now I try to, it was actually probably easier for me to give it. Like, yo, you dope, homie. That was easier for me to give when I was younger. It's easier back when I was younger. It's easier for me to tell somebody else they were dope than for me to hear that I was good at something. I don't know why. I was just like, why they compliment me? That's weird. You know what I mean? But no, just growing up, learning, and being grateful, I realized like, because sometimes there were probably times, I know for a fact there's one time in my journey where I wanted to quit. And it was just somebody telling me that picked a song that changed, like you changed my perspective, you made me da 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 da.
Damn.
I went to college, I became a professor. It was somebody, and it just changed like my whole day. Kind of changed my energy and changed my direction. And I literally, at that time, it was one of the times where I just was like, I don't know, man, like fuck this shit. Maybe I should just do something else. And that person changed my life because I was gonna quit.
Damn.
And that person, I was like, damn, maybe this is worth it. That
Was that
I
just
help.
a regular like a fan, or was it?
Yeah, not just a regular
That's what
human
I
being, bro.
in life. It's like that sometimes. Sometimes you'll never see that person again, and they
It was
won't
like
know the
some
impact they had on
right.
you.
It was like some angel shit. Like God knew I needed to hear that shit, and that person was genuine, just out of nowhere, and just said that. I was like, God damn, okay, all right, I'm gonna keep going
That's right.
because that made it worth it. Like, okay, well, I guess it is worth it. I just fucking really, helped somebody that's helping the world as an educator. Like, that's a blessing. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
What's your opinion on teamwork and how important is it to you to have people dedicated to a goal?
you can't, dude. You can't do anything with by yourself except masturbate, and that's not even fun. I'd rather have a bitch do it. So I have to be honest with you. Like, that's literally what we talk about all the time, every day, is trying to explain to people, like, you know, you need there's an African saying, it takes a village to raise a child, let alone like get some shit done. It takes I can't do it all. I can't be the engineer, the promoter. I could wear a lot of hats, but
Mhm.
eventually you slip, man. You
Yeah.
can't do it all. You need a team, and you need a team that's consciously working towards the same goal. Because if you pedaling 100 miles an hour, north, and I'm pedaling 100 miles an hour south, we still go nowhere. We're stagnant. So we have to be going in the same direction, knowing where we're trying to get to, putting all that energy there. And so teamwork is the only way to succeed in most things, like, except for masturbation.
I'm
Uh,
What do you have coming up, Rascas?
yeah, man. What I'm really excited about is in the next month or so, you guys will hear the first single. Um, I have a project we call Gutter, Guttr. Shouts out my man Storm. And Gutter consists of me, a dope MC. He's doing his thing. RJ Payne out of Philly. I know. Uh, Definitely buzzing. Ice T's been really supportive of him. And then Havoc from Mob Deep. So it's our group. So um, Havoc rhymes on some records, but Havoc does all the production. So it's getting the sonics of a Mob Deep album in 2022 with the street knowledge of a East Coast MC and a West Coast MC. So
Yeah.
I think it's the best of both worlds. Like, you can never replace Prodigy, but we did want to have that soundtrack and carry on that tradition. So
Yeah.
it's definitely inspired by P, and what Mob, the foundation that Mob Deep laid. Um, and now the album's crazy. You'll probably see the first single in about a month because we're just now finishing mixing it. You got to shoot our videos, and the fucking the lineup is incredible. Like
Dang.
our guests, the homies that jumped on here with us, it's righteous. This shit's crazy.
I'm fucking excited about this. I'm a Mob Deep fan, and a fucking is Alchemist producing on this record?
All Havoc. This is a
Oh
straight
shit. Dope.
Havoc album.
Oh shit, that's dope, man.
Yeah, it's all Havoc.
Okay,
That's
I'm
dope,
excited
man.
about
Are you guys going through a label? Or you doing this independently?
No, we did it through Fat Beats.
Okay.
Yeah, Fat Beat Records. So yeah, no, it's indie. We did it indie, but Fat Beats, they do a lot of different stuff. So no, it's gonna be crazy, man. We got the right PR. It'll be fine. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Dope, dope. Yeah, the only reason I ask is because, like I said earlier, I really don't see a need for a lot of labels, especially when you have people with name recognition, right? Like, why would you even bring those motherfuckers in to try to put their hands in your pocket when you guys could just, hire a street team to kind of put it out there yourself, social media and all that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I like in my perfect world a label would because albums still cost sometimes.
Yeah.
Just depends on who your features are, what who's mixing records. Manny American and them are like $5,000 per song. That
Yeah.
shit starts hurting you. You got 50 racks just to mix records, like this shit can get expensive.
Yeah.
So there's a marriage in the middle somewhere where that you know that I would be interested in. Um, yeah, I mean honestly, and shit, I'm gonna have to get out of here in a second, fellas. But I
Okay.
did want to say I wanted to answer something about what that you said about technology. You got to understand that at the end of the day, um, you see them shop nows that pop up in your timeline. Well,
Yeah.
think about it. That same thing with certain artists. Like that's why they get the ad on YouTube because they spent money, and not $5 a day. So if you ain't got $1,000 per day to be shooting to promote your shit, you get outspent. Shit gets
I think he said he had to go
Yeah,
anyway.
they're bugged. They want. He's in the studio right now. They want him to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
record shit. He's got that Havoc record coming. Hope he
Well,
gets
that
back.
was dope. That was dope, G. I appreciate you letting me sit in for this one.
Nah, most definitely. That's a motherfucking legend, and I'm honored to have him, man. Fucking thank you, Craig.
Oh, no problem, G.
Let's see if he jumps back on real quick. If he doesn't, then I might have to just knock out this record and we'll call it a night.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thanks for everyone tuning in. Anyone want to call in and say what up? Lines on the screen. We're gonna play.
my bad.
Oh,
Oh,
we
there we
got
go.
you. We got you. Can you hear us?
Rascaz.
Yo, Raz.
I think you got another call.
Yeah, that's what's up. What the fuck? I think it's done. Man, it's
Yeah.
crazy living that lifestyle. This hip hop lifestyle is no joke, yeah. And this motherfucker has been putting it down for so many years. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, dog. Like I'm telling you, like you Google Rascaz featuring Rascaz, like everybody, right? He's worked with like he spits, dog. I'm telling you, like he's a fucking spitter, man.
No, that's why I was like, damn, when I seen an exhibit like that flyer, I mean, it's like, oh shit, it's on and cracking, man. We got to really get this together.
Yes, sir.
I think he's off. I'm gonna call it a night, you guys. Incredible Javier. I appreciate you, my G. You're a
You know we
legend,
do
your
shit.
damn self. Razcaz, you're a motherfucking legend. West Coast, weactive.com. You guys go subscribe and show some love.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Look, man, y'all niggas is predictable as a motherfucker. Corny as shit. So I'm gonna give you a bar one time, man. Y'all know what a homonym is? And it's words that spelled the same or sound the same that have a different meaning. Like, well, look, like this, huh? Listen, to form pretty boy. And mama said God don't like ugly. Cool, Jehovah's Witness won't bug me. Nickname ain't the man, all I got is news. Pop new tags, new I cop new shoes. Dating set the 22s, only thing used is when Penelope Cruz. Tom X chick choose. Niggas thinking it's a rap, the damage is done. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, Went from slave days, whips and chains to luxury whips, black chains that hang. Used to get lynched and hang, now we hang on the block. Do the do, don't cop from cops. Niggas ball to ball, push blow to blow. The nose, suckers just play the role. Roll with players, gangsters prey on the weak. Christians prey on the weekend, my flow is deep. And I might not got more cheddar than you, so I show off. Show why I'm still better than you. Amputate my hand, ain't right if I left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off. Where what I left on what I got. I'ma stay on one, plot to my plot. Amputate my hand, ain't right if my left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off. D gon' break up. Who ain't no love in the fast lane? Better pump your brakes. What? Awake at my own wake. Then I rose, holding the rose right before they put me in the hole. And even friends before. Easy like princess, died and died senseless. Cause blood is the red dye that never rinses. IRS fences. Homes, they auction off homes. They need pay your taxes if the gold's the gold. Still soul on ice, just put ice on the soul. Jewels head to toe, and love getting head. Told 2 groupies on tour around the globe. My name ring bells, cause I skip bail and spit poison like the Bo Bib Bell. And if you're not black, go figure. Pronounce you dead in the ER for pronouncing the ER in the word nigga. And I might not got more cheddar than you, so I show off. So I'm still better than you. Amputate my hand, ain't right if I left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off. Where what I left on what I got. I'ma stay on one plot to my plot. Amputate my hand, ain't right if my left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off. Verbal Kent, heir to the throne. Con air when I fly, dress fly when I flown. Once flew with the flu, hail from the L. Tell freaky tales of females and black tail, blackmail. These the sounds of blackmail and extortion. Need a piece of the pie, a portion, pie. Do the math. Horsemen, corrupt priests who sell cannabis for assets and properties. Pro clubs, rock properties, proper dime piece asset next to me like hi. I'm like, hey, what up? She like, hey, and like to get high. By the way, lipstick lesbian bi. She wanna smoke if I buy. I don't trick, beat it, bitch. I'm like, bye. When I spell man, school women like spell man. Hypnotic, I'm under a spell, man. And I might not got more cheddar than you, so I show off. So I'm still better than you. Amputate my hand, ain't right if I left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off. Where what I left on what I got. I'ma stay on one plot to my plot. Amputate my hand, ain't right if my left off. Pin to the pin, now I'm right where I left off.
Vanglorious for Chickadee. This is protected by the pimps and who else? Who else is it protected by? The players and somebody else, right? And the hustlers, that's right. With a key, with a key. Not a car key, but what? But a key. Oh, a brick. Sissy.